What's going on this week in Nerf?
Welcome to This Week in Nerf, your source for first-party, third-party, and community Nerf news. I'm Adriana, and this week we have a ton of new blasters from the Roblox line coming, along with a little bit more information about the upcoming Hyper line. So let's talk about it. The Legacy Blaster is now available from Armistice Designs, aka ICE, aka UIN13, a Nerfer from olden times who was the largest Nerf hobby YouTuber before the rise of Coop and Drac. The Legacy is a 3D printed Springer. It's mag-fed and takes half darts only. It's available either as a top prime blaster, hashtag top prime for life, or as a pump action blaster if you prefer ergonomics for some reason. It has a very strong spring and a hard prime, but it should feel pretty smooth. Coop said that he got 151 FPS with the Adventure Force Pro Darts, which is pretty awesome for most of the games that I play anyway. It has a really simple silhouette, limited greebles. It just makes it super sleek and super clean in design. I really appreciate all the curves of the blaster, just make it look so comfortable to hold. It's a beautiful blaster. The files are available for purchase for $15 alongside a $40 hardware kit. Alternatively, there are a limited number of pre-built blasters available for $150. You can find these at armisticedesigns.com. Kuriaka, the creator of the Jailbreak Wheels, has now released Pulsar Wheels. He was trying to create a better Hurricane mini wheel, and instead he created a great two-stage wheel. It has some grooves in it that allow the dart to deform a little bit and kind of increase the grip surface. In two-stage setups, he was getting around 200 FPS with half lengths and fan revamps on 3S, which is pretty freaking awesome. With a larger outer diameter than Hurricane wheels, they may not be compatible with some existing mini wheel cages, but he has also released compatible cages for multiple blasters like the Strife, Rapid Strike, Modulus Demolisher, Woozy, and a single stage cage for the Hurricane. And he's also created a conversion kit for the Ultra Amp. It converts the amp to shoot half lengths and has options for either Jailbreaks or the new Pulsar wheels. So you could purchase a cage with 2 sets of wheels for $45 on his Etsy, or you can get just a pair of flywheels for $15, and the cages are available for free through his GitHub. And I'll link to both of those in the description. A couple of new blaster leaks coming up. First up, Nick LaPlante found a few at Canadian Tire. The Nerf Ultra Select exclusive for 80 Canadian dollars. The available date says April 29th, but that seems incredibly unlikely at this point. I'm also just generally curious to see what the most expensive Ultra Blaster so far will be. Nick says that Canadian Tire doesn't do exclusives, so it's very strange to see the exclusive language in the listing as well. Another interesting listing translates to Nerf Disc Launcher for 45 Canadian dollars. It's pretty unlikely to be a Nerf Dog product because Nick says that would have different product numbers, but I think it's kind of equally unlikely that it's a return of Vortex without the name Vortex in there. Very curious to see what this one turns out to be. And then You Like Dad Jokes reported the Hyper Fuel 20 on Walmart's website. It's likely to be the same blaster we've seen previously, named the Hyper Mag Pistol, as it shares the same product code. So looking forward to seeing what that could look like. And speaking of Hyper, Sophie Lightning got the first look at the upcoming Hyper Mach 100 and posted a review and firing demo. And this video confirms a lot of the leaks and suspicions that we've had about the line. This blaster is absolutely huge, probably mostly because of the 6D batteries that it takes to run the thing. The front looks pretty darn heavy. And it doesn't make a great sound when firing. Sounds a little bit like gear whine. We learned a lot from the patents that there are a ton of moving parts, so I'm curious to know how it'll sound after a 3S conversion, because I know that's what most of us will be doing pretty much as soon as it arrives. I still think it's a little bizarre that it comes with 80 rounds, even though the blaster even states on the box that it can hold 100. It's a shame you have to buy more ammo to fill it, and honestly, that hopper looks huge. I bet you could fit even more than 100 inside of it. Speaking of the ammo, it looks really dense, definitely more dense than Rival when you try to squish it, and the flight path is also different from Rival. It's a lot more arced instead of flat, so I wonder if the hop-up has less effect, or if it's not present at all. I'm sure with more blaster in more people's hands, looking for specific things like that, we should know more pretty soon. The spread, when Sophie fires it, isn't great, but I think we can give that one the benefit of the doubt. It is pretty windy out there. And if we're comparing it to Rival, Rival is a cloud, so, you know, not being pinpoint accurate doesn't seem unusual in the first place. And Sophie claims the balls are very, very bouncy. To quote, they bounce like no tomorrow. And, you know, depending on where you play, that could be a really good thing or a really bad thing. I know when you're just like bouncing balls around the house, just shooting down the hallway and at walls and stuff, it's really cool to see him go boop, 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 all over the place. I have a lot of fun just dunking my proton pack into a door and watching them bounce everywhere. Less fun cleaning them up, but yeah. And one last thing we noticed, paint on both sides. That doesn't happen very often. Hopefully it happens for the entire line, but at least for the Mach 100, paint on both sides. And now, it's time for Rapid Strikes. I should put some darts in this next time. We missed a new mini line recently, the Avengers Mech Strike. It features blaster elements that expand outward when you prime them, so the Captain's shield separates and Iron Man's rockets extend out. The blasters are then fired with a button near the thumb. Is your Lynx too compact? Detroit Dartworks made a new butt plate that will extend it 3 inches, just in case you're 7 feet tall. You can download it and print it yourself from Thingiverse. The NG5 Fenris is another super compact blaster from My 3D Base. The mag and grip design uses standard talons and flings darts at 100 FPS through custom flywheels and their own Radian motors. You can purchase it from their website for €128. International shipping can be a real pain in the butt, but now Europeans can get select Captain Slug hardware kits from Blaster Time in the Netherlands. The catalog of options is planned to expand in the future. Originally an April Fool's prank, real steel accessory shop Black Arch made a holster for the Nerf Jolt, and now it's a real thing that you can actually buy. The Ready Mag is a short dart mag holder that you can clamp to the side of your blaster. If you're only running 1 or 2 spares, I think I prefer this method over dealing with pockets. It's available through their Facebook page for 30 Singaporean dollars. And now for our main story, there have been official images and updates and descriptions for all of the upcoming Roblox blasters. So first up we have the Phantom Forces Boxy Buster for $10. This is a microshot blaster with a name not similar to its game model, which is the Zip 22. Apparently that was based on a real firearm. It was a bullpup pistol that was so terrible that it killed the previously successful company. And just like the real firearm, I am not sure how a human being is meant to hold it. At least the operation for the blaster is simple, just front load and fire 1 dart, just like any other microshot. And then there's the Struct Boom Strike for $10. This game is a Fortnite clone within Roblox that seems to still be in beta, and I could not find an image of the in-game blaster, but being based on Fortnite explains the more curvy look of this one. It's a lot less blocky than all of the other blasters we're going to look at today. And then there's the Mad City Plasma Ray for $10. Mad City is a cops and robbers style game, and the toy has a nice name change from Death Ray. This is just another, micro shot. Then there's the Jailbreak Armory 2-pack for $20. This is 2 blasters from another Cops and Robbers style of game. These blasters are front-loading hammer prime blasters, and there's really not a lot to say about these. I guess the orange and gray one sort of has some interesting shapes going on. They're okay so far. Now we're getting to a little bit cooler blasters. This one is the MM2 Sharkseeker for $25. In the Roblox game Murder Mystery 2, which is based on the Gary's mod game Murder, this mega blaster is based on shark, which what a creative weapon name in game. Also, the way Hasbro's getting around to saying words like death and murder is kind of funny at this point. Anyway, this blaster takes 3 front-loaded darts. It's top primed by pulling on that top fin, which is kind of fun, and it fires 1 dart. So far, I think this is the look that I like the most. Next up is Adopt Me Bees for $30. It's loosely based on this cartoon bee from a game where you just adopt different animals and attempt to avoid paying real money for virtual pets. This blaster fires elite darts with a lever action prime and an 8-dart drum. I do appreciate the higher level of detail on this one. The dripping honey is pretty cute, and the cylinder has a cool blocky look with some honeycomb inlay. It definitely seems a lot more themed than several of the other blasters, even though it's still very, very simple. And lastly, there's the Arsenal Pulse Laser for $40. This is the only flywheel blaster in this line. It comes with a 10-dart mag and fires 1 dart at a time. I would really like to see this one in somebody's hands to get a better sense of the scale of the blaster. The mag release looks like it's very, very far away from the trigger. But it's still inside the guard, so you're clearly expected to reach out your index finger to push it. So if the blaster is large, the release might be unusable, and if the blaster is not large, well, I think it'd be cooler if it was big. All of these blasters come with a code to redeem a virtual item, although I can't tell from the press copy if it's from each game or for something site-wide. I guess that's something we'll have to find out once blasters are in hands. And we should be seeing these on the shelves in August, so pretty soon. And now it's time for the mod of the week, and this week it's the Fortnite Pump SG from Jason Felper. He loved the feel of this blaster, but was really disappointed by the stock performance, but he solved this now with a side-mounted magwell and a brass breech. We don't see very many unique handmade mods anymore, so I was really happy to see it. One of the interesting problems that he solved with this blaster was using a carefully bent rod to catch the actual grip mechanism at a particular place to be able to allow the full travel for the pump grip, but only the necessary travel for the breech itself. That's a really clever solution, and judging from the firing demo, it worked quite well. After all this work, it's hitting 120 FPS, making it perfect for Super Stock Wars, HVZ, or just plinking with kids. It's a really cool, really fun blaster. I'm glad you were able to make it your own. That's all the news I have for this week. Thank you so much for watching. As usual, the links to everything that I talked about are down in the description, where you can click on those, join in the discussions. There's also down there the comments and the like button and the subscribe button, and you can hit the bell if you can't remember that we're going to be right here every other Monday, 9 a.m. Pacific. And I kind of want to know what you guys think of those Roblox blasters. I feel like Roblox as a brand is a weird thing to partner with, since, you know, they're not Roblox games, they're other people's games inside of Roblox, so no one really has control over the image of these little games, and they're very shooty a lot of times. It just seems off brand to me. I don't know, it's weird. I'm torn about these blasters. Some of them are interesting, some of them less so. Anyway, I want to know what you guys think, and while you do that, I'm going to squat until I'm off the camera, and then it's going to go black, and then the episode's over. Goodbye.